Now I will take the revision of third chapter. Our third chapter is tissue. Now what is tissue? Tissue is the group of cell. The group of cell which are performing a group of similar types of cells which are performing specific function. That group of cell is called tissue. We all know that group of cell make tissue and group of tissue makes organ, and that organ combines form organ system, and in this way a whole complete body is formed. Now study of tissue is called histology. As we have studied in previous class, there are two types of cells, plant cells and animal cells. In the same way, tissues are also of two types, plant tissue and animal tissue. Now let's start with the plant tissue. On the basis of their ability to divide, plant tissues are divided into two types. First is meristematic. Meristematic tissue, and second is permanent tissue. Meristematic tissues, the cells of this tissue having ability to divide, while the cells of permanent tissues not having ability to divide. Now let's start with the meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue cells are thin-walled and they may be, if they are compactly arranged, means no intercellular space is present between them, and they are isodiametric. Isodiametric means having spherical shape and all are having same diameter, means same size, and they are all having centrally located nucleus and dense cytoplasm. This is the characteristic of meristematic tissue. On the basis of their location, these meristematic tissues are categorized into three types. First is apical meristem. Second is lateral, and third is intercalary. On the basis of location where they are present, on that basis they are categorized into three types. Apical means these stomatics are present on the tip of, suppose this is the plant, on the tip of the plant and on the root of the plant. These apical meristems, and they are responsible for growth in height of the plant. Second is the lateral. These lateral tissues are present laterally on the stem and root of the plant, and they are responsible for growing the plant in its width. Now the next is intercalary. Third part is the intercalary. These intercalaries are present on the nodes of the. We all know what is nodes. The branches from where the branches arises, that point is called node. And these intercalary meristematics are present on the nodes and internodes. This is all about the meristematic tissue. Their function is only to give growth of the plant in their height, in its height and in its width, and in growing the different branches. They are made up of totally living cells. Now the next is the permanent tissue. Permanent tissues are made up of the cells which are not having ability. Once they grow, initially they have the characteristic of dividing, But once they grow in their complete size, after that their maturity they stop the growing, and that's why they are called permanent tissue. On the basis of their division, they are categorized into two types. On the basis of types of cells of the made of the composed, they are categorized into two types. First is simple permanent tissue, and second is complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissues means the tissues which are made up of similar types of cells, means cells are having similar structure and function. And complex means the tissues which are made up of different types of cells. The examples of simple permanent tissue is parenchyma, they are found in cortex and leaves of the plant, and their main function is to store the food materials. They also give mechanical support to the plant. Second is collenchyma. Collenchyma is present in peripheral region of the stem and leaves. They are also made up of similar types of cells, and cells of these collenchyma may or may not be compactly arranged. Sometimes they are compactly arranged and sometimes they depend upon their location. Their main function is to provide mechanical strength to the plant, and also they provide elasticity to the growing stem. This is all about the collenchyma. And now the third simple tissue is the sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma is made up of two types of cells, fibers and sclerates, and they are totally made up of dead cells. Their main function is to provide mechanical strength and support to the plant. This is all about the simple tissue. Now the complex tissue is also of two types. First is xylem. Xylem is made up of, as I told you, they are complex tissue, means they are made up of different types of cells. Means xylems are made up of 4 different types of cells. Xylem vessel, xylem fiber, and tracheids, and xylem parenchyma. These 3 cells are dead cells, while only parenchyma, xylem parenchyma, is living cell. And the main function of xylem, we all know, they are helpful in transporting the water and minerals from the root to all parts of the plant. Now the next complex tissue is phloem. Phloem is also made up of 4 different types of cells. Sieve tube, companion cell, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fiber. These 3 cells of phloem is living cell, and this phloem fiber is dead cell. It's made up of dead cells, and its main function is to conduct the food material from the leaves to all parts of the plant. This is all about the plant tissue. Now the next topic of our chapter is animal tissue. Animal tissues are of 4 types. First is epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue. Epi means outer side, covering. Means all the human body or animal body covered on that side, epithelial tissues are present. Means they line the whole body. And also not only they line the whole body, but also they line the organs of human body externally and internally. For example, stomach. Stomach is lined by internally, and hollow organs are lined by these epithelial tissues. And second, these epithelial tissues are again categorized on the basis of their location and their function. First is squamous epithelial tissue. Squamous epithelial tissues lined stomach, intestine, kidney, tubules, and they are known as squamous because the cells are square in shape. And the main character of this epithelial tissue is that these epithelial tissues, as they line the body, they are arised from a basement membrane. Suppose this is the squamous cells, and they are attached to the basement membrane. This is the main characteristic of epithelial tissue, and its main function is to provide function to the animal body. Second is the cuboidal. Cuboidal epithelial tissue. These cuboidal means they are known. Cuboidal means the cells, the shape of the cell is cuboid. And third is the columnar. Columnar means they are having column-like. They are very long in this type. They are column-like structure. They are having a single located nucleus is present in this way. And next is the ciliated. Ciliated epithelial tissues are made up of columnar types of cells, but they are having hair-like structure. Suppose this is columnar, and in this way they are having hair-like structure on it, and this hair-like structure is called cilia, and hence this type of tissues are called ciliated epithelial tissue. The function of this cilia is to provide movement or mobility to that side organ. They are mostly present in the nose and in windpipe. In this way means they are present where the movement occurs. Now next is the ciliate. After ciliated, next epithelial tissue is the glandular. Glandular epithelial tissues are present on the glands. Now the last epithelial tissue is stratified. Stratified epithelial tissue. These cells of this tissue are present in layer, so that they occur where wear and tear occurs in our body. This is all about the epithelial tissue. Now the next animal tissue is connective tissue. By the name, we come to know that these connective tissue have function to bind the skin. connective tissue means they binds this. They are because of its function, they are made up of matrix and fibers. And on the basis of nature of matrix, they are categorized into three parts. First is connective tissue proper. Connective tissue proper. The matrix of this tissue is rigid, less rigid. Second is supportive. Connective tissue. And the matrix of this supportive connective tissue is very much rigid, means very tough. And the third is fluid connective tissue. The matrix of this tissue is made up of plasma, means it is totally liquid in nature. Now let's start with the connective tissue proper. The connective tissue proper, there are three types of connective tissue proper. First is in this connective tissue proper are again of three types. First is areolar connective tissue. They are made up of fibers and nucleus, and fibers are present in bands like this. Suppose this is the, in this way the fibers are present, and cells of these tissues are not in spherical shape. In this way they are present. In this way they are present. Now their main function is to they are widely distributed in the body, and their main function is to underline binds the underlying parts of human body. Next connective tissue proper is adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is also made up of yellow fibers and spherical shaped cells, and in this tissue large vacuole is present, and due to presence of large vacuole, nucleus is slightly shifted towards the wall, and it becomes acentric in this types of tissue, and their main function is to store the fat, and hence they are responsible to warm the body. After adipose tissue, next is the fibrous connective tissue. Fibrous connective tissue is made up of two types of fibers. First is tendon. Tendons are made up of white fiber. They are made up of white fiber, and their function is to join muscle to the bone. And the next fibrous connective tissue is ligament. Ligaments are made up of yellow fibers, and their main function is to join bone to bone. This is all about the connective tissue proper. Now the next is the supportive connective tissue. Supportive connective tissue is again categorized into two parts: cartilage and bone. Cartilage is made up of chondroblast cell, and its outer covering is called perichondrium. Their main function, they are mainly present in our nose, in windpipe, where the flexibility occurs, and so that the cells of cartilage is slightly flexible, provide elasticity to the body. And next is the bone. bone is made up of osteocyte cells, and its outer covering is called perichondrium. Periosteum. Its outer covering is called periosteum, and it is not elastic. It is totally hard, and it is responsible to give support and to give shape to the human body, and also it helps in the locomotion. Now the next is the fluid connective tissue. Fluid connective tissue is of again two types, blood and lymph. Blood is, we all know that blood is a bright red colored liquid, and it is made up of 3 cells and plasma. Blood, what these 3 cells are? Red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. These 3 cells are scattered in the plasma, and hence it is red in blood. Because of presence of red blood cells, they are seen in red in color, and their main function is transportation. Blood is responsible for transporting all the essential and non-essential materials, means all the beneficial and non-beneficial materials throughout the human body. Suppose it is giving protection and provide immunity to the human body. Next is the lymph. Lymph is also responsible for giving protection to the human body, and as red blood cells are absent in lymph, red blood cells and platelets are absent in lymph. Only it is made up of WBC, white blood cells, and plasma. They are pale yellow in color, not red in color, and their function is also to provide immunity, that is protection to the human body. This is all about the connective tissue. Now the next tissue is muscular tissue. Muscular tissue is contractile in nature. The cells of muscular tissues are contractile in nature, means their function is to provide alternate relaxation and contraction in the body. And on this basis, they are categorized into 3 parts. First is striated muscular tissue. Striated muscular tissues or voluntary muscular tissue, means the cells of this tissue works on our desire, and the cells, the tissue, they are alternate dark and white bands are present in it, and they are multinucleated, not having tapering ends. Tapering ends means this type of ends. They are not having this type of ends. They are totally having bands in it, and the cells of this tissue works in our desire, what we want. Now the next is unstriated muscular tissue. Unstriated muscular tissues are made up of this type. The cells of this tissue is having tapering ends, and they are uninucleated, means having single nucleus in it, in this. And the cells of this tissue works on their desire. Not they works in our desire, they works on the basis of their desire. What? So the cells of stomach, intestines are made up of this type of cells. Now the next is the cardiac muscular tissue. Cardiac muscular tissues are the cell they are responsible for making heart. Cardiac means heart. These tissues are responsible for making our heart, so that it means they are made up of both types of muscular tissue, unstriated and striated, and the cells of this tissue are branched and they are very strong, so that they provide very much strength to the heart for its rhythmic contraction and relaxation. This is all about the cardiac muscular tissue. Means muscular tissue is completed. Next and last tissue is the nerve tissue. Only this tissue, the cells of this tissue, once die, they are not having ability to divide again. Once they damage, then they totally get damaged. The structure of nerve tissue is like this. They are made up of two parts, cytone and axon. This part, above part is called cytone, means cell, and this tubular branched part is called axon. This is the longest cell in human body, and its function is to control all the activities of the body, all the works internally as well as external in human body, in all animal body, and they are responsible for providing sensation to the animal body, and they are also help in transmitting the messages from one cell to other cell. They are also they are responsible for controlling the work of all the organs inside our body. So this is all about the nerve tissue. In this way we have completed the revision of third chapter. I hope you must be understand this chapter. In next class we will meet with new chapter. Till then, thank you.